Hello and welcome to another episode of the AI Workflow Lab. In today's episode, I'm going to talk to you about the research agent and some important updates that are available for you now. The footnote that some of them are frontier programs, so they may not be available right here, right now, but they will be very shortly. But have a look, just follow what I show you, and if you see the option there, then that means it's already landed on your tenant. So what I'm going to show you is the fact that with the research agent, you now have a selection of models you can use when you're doing your prompts. So when it does the research, firstly, the first option I want to show is the fact that GPT will do the research and then Claude will validate the outputs before it goes to you to see. So think of it of Agent 1 doing the research, Agent 2 reviewing the results that Agent 1 discovered, and then finally producing the results for you. So it'll check for the source data, report completeness, evidence grounding, those kind of things. So this multi-model experience is new and very good. And the other thing I'm going to show you is counsel. In fact, let me share my screen and I'll make it easier. So the first piece was here where you select critique, and you get GPT responses refined by Claude. But you also have model counsel, whereby both models, GPT and Claude, will both do research against the prompt that you've typed, and you'll get two reports. One with GPT, one powered by GPT, one powered by Claude, and then you'll also get a table that highlights the differences between the two reports based on the two models. So you can then decide which information you want to include. So let's start with the first one, the critique. So I'm going to select that, and then the prompt I'm going to type is quite a comprehensive one. And you can see what I'm doing is I'm a research analyst working for Contoso. We're going to be moving to Italy, in Milan, and I'd like to understand what the environmental impact would be for commuting, because that will help us decide which area in Milan we want to position our office. So you can see critique by GPT responses refined by Claude, frontier program. So I'm going to go ahead and click send, and off it goes. It'll take about 15 odd minutes or so. Before it goes, it's going to ask me some validation questions. I'm going to say go ahead to allow the agent to just use its best judgment around corporate assumptions. And I'm also going to choose the short form of a report, 1 to 5 pages. But of course, you could do the longer one if you wanted, just in the interest of the demo. We have these options here. I've got critique selected. It's going to cover, though, you can see the areas it's going to include in the report. So I'm just going to click go ahead and hit send, and off it goes. So there you have it. We now have the results of the prompt. It did it in about in exactly 112 steps. And you can see the title there, just to remind you, it's the critique model that we've got, generated by GPT, critiqued or reviewed by Claude. Well, if you have a look, it's quite a significant report. If I go to the various sections here, you can see there's the navigation on the left-hand side, regulatory content, scenarios, settings, risk considerations, priorities, and so on. And if you recall, I remember it also will give you the sources. If you look at the sources, you can see where it took that information from. So quite a comprehensive report, I would say. Hopefully you agree. And this is something that you can use here and now. Well, sorry, if you're in the Frontier program. If not, it should be landing imminently. All you have to do is launch the research agent and you will see it appear there as critique. Now, as I said earlier on, that's one of the new features I wanted to show you. The second one is the fact that you can use the research agent to access two models when it does the research for you. So it won't just be GPT, it'll be GPT and Claude. So if you wanted to get two reports, one GPT made or generated, the other Claude generated, and not only that, the table also gives you where the differences lie. So you would do the same prompt, but select the model counsel. So I did one earlier on, just in interest of time, and that's it over here. You can see that's model counsel selected. So that was the model I used. And the prompt I typed was exactly the same as the one before, which was, research analyst in Contoso, looking to move to Italy, etc. So you can see that's the prompt, that's the model. And it did the same thing. Oh, that's quite a long prompt. As you can see, it first asked me whether I wanted to have the report in the short or long format, and if I wanted to, how I wanted it to use assumptions. So I selected go ahead and to use best judgment, and you can see these are the results. So it gave me two models. There's a GPT one and there's a Claude one. If I click on the GPT mod report, you can see I've got it here, that's selected. You see the table of results, or the content of the results, executive summary, key findings, data insights and estimates, and so on. And then if I want to have a look at the Claude results, the report generated by Claude, I go over here and I've got the information here as well by Claude. Now, if I just close that over there, and areas of agreement, this is where it gets interesting. So you can see where the differences are and where the agreements are. So hybrid work impact. GPT thinks there's a 40% reduction, as does Claude. These are all areas of agreement. So you can see in these categories, both models gave similar results, but in these categories, the models gave slightly different results. So average commute distance, the GPT report was saying 14 kilometers one way. Claude was saying 12 kilometers, not so much in it really, 2 kilometers. So annual fuel cost estimates, we've got 1,000 to 1,200 euros, 796 euros for Claude. So that's really quite good in terms of highlighting and identifying where the differences are in the two reports. So based on that, you can then make a decision as to which report you want to take, whether the Claude one, the one generated by Claude, the one generated by GPT, or of course, if you wanted the one output, it was the previous prompt I did, this one here, where it was generated by GPT and refined by Claude. So these are great options you have. If you think back to the video I did X months ago, it was just researcher, which was great, right? Don't get me wrong, it was still revolutionary, but now there's more features. You've got this models you can have a play with and select. One thing I also wanted you to be made aware of is that there is a limitation, let's get my notes, in terms of the number of research prompts you can run per month. Microsoft have said that you can run up to 25 prompts per month. So if you go beyond that value, you won't be able to use researcher for that month, and then it will reset the following month. There isn't any way to count your consumption. Well, there is a way, a slight, but it's not an official way. But the way I would do it would be, if you go into researcher and I click on history, you can see that's a great timestamp of how many prompts I've ran. So I've done 4 out of my 25 for this month, for a month duration. It's not calendar month, it's just a month from when you started. So key things to bear in mind. I think if you want to use researcher, make sure it's a valid use case. You remember the reason for researcher app is the researcher app agent, I beg your pardon, is to do that deep research into the things you're looking for, not high level quick responses. You've got Copilot chat for that. If you really want to do some deep analysis and you want the prompt to be thorough, and the other thing to bear in mind is make sure you use a really comprehensive prompt that will make sure you get the best out of your value, out of your experience. And one tip for that in that respect is you can use Copilot to help you create the chat for researcher, right? So, and full disclosure, that's exactly what I did for this video. So if I go here, I knew I wanted to demo the researcher app. So I asked Copilot chat, where are we? I'm sure I did that here. It may have been a different, I can't find it at the moment, but I must have used a different view. But what I'm suggesting is use Copilot to help you create a prompt that you can use in the researcher. That's a really good tip. So just say, I need to do this in-depth research. I need to use a researcher app. I only have 25 tokens per month, so please make this prompt really accurate. And then describe what you want to do the research on. And then Copilot will go ahead and generate that prompt for you. And that's exactly what it did for this particular one that I used. This prompt you see over here was based on the ask that I did in Copilot chat. I asked Copilot chat to create a prompt that I can use to demonstrate the capabilities of the researcher agent. And it gave me this comprehensive prompt. So you can use that the same way to ensure that when you go into the research agent, your prompt is thorough, it's deep, and it's accurate. Then the other thing to bear in mind, as I said, have a look at the history. That's a great way to see how many prompts you've ran against your agent for a given month. So hopefully, I hope you liked that. I hope you liked the stuff I've shown you in the Researcher app. I think it's Researcher Agent. I think it's really gone up in leaps and bounds. And no doubt that if this is what you're interested in, if you research is the kind of thing you or your colleagues do, point them to the Researcher Agent. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you soon for another insightful video on Copilot. Bye for now, guys.